Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Happy Memorial Day. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A, and before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently using, and that is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull MM in the Demi Azur. We've had such awesome weather the last couple of weeks here in Southern California, so I always gravitate towards Demi Azur. Okay, so let's get started with the very first question because I have loads and loads of eye candy for you guys today. Okay. From Liz G. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name because I know I will butcher it. So Liz asks, could you show your new dark red Chanel zip-around coin case with cash inside it? Can cash fit with one fold and not get stuck in the zipper? This is a great question. So here I have the little Chanel zip-around coin purse, and I took out a $10 bill. Now, whenever you do want to put cash in here, you can't put the cash in with one fold this way. It has to go this way. And I am happy to say, because I've done this quite a few times myself, you do have enough clearance between the bottom of the pocket where you're putting the cash and the top part where the zipper is so that it won't get stuck. But I can say that if you end up putting it in at an awkward angle, it will end up just getting caught there. So what I would do is I would suggest putting the cash that you put in on one of the side little compartments, because it seems that it might be a little bit more secure, if you will, that way versus it being stuck in the middle. But usually when I end up carrying this little guy, I end up folding these one more time because it makes it just a little bit easier to be able to get in and out of it without having to worry about it getting stuck, because I know that feeling. You know, there's been times that I have definitely just kind of just done this and it gets stuck, and then it's not a pretty sight. But no, it fits in there without a problem. But again, if you put it in at the wrong angle, there is a chance that it'll end up getting caught. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, GC by Cat. If you could only own either the Chanel Jumbo or the medium large, which one would you choose and why? This is a tough question. So here I brought out my Jumbo, and it still has the little felt in here because they were currently in their dust bags. And here is my medium large. I love both of these bags, and I did have someone ask if I will be doing a review on this, on the medium large. I will shortly. It's just the month of June is going to be a little chaotic for me, but I do love both of these bags. And while I think this is a lot more, the medium large is a lot more comfortable than the Jumbo, I love the fact that in the Jumbo I can fit just about all of my goodies without having to go too compact versus this one. So if I could only own one, oh man, what if I put this one in there? Does that count? I'd have to go for the Jumbo, you know, and I started using it quite a bit now, and I'm still loving this bag, but there is definitely an ease about the medium large. So here they are side by side. Whoops, I don't want to do that because then it seems like the camera gets washed out. But they are both fantastic, but very easy to carry, very a little bit more compact. But this one's just, yeah, this Mama Jamma is perfect. So I would have to go for the Jumbo in my opinion. Okay, Melissa Bailey, what's your thoughts on the mini flap, on the Chanel mini flap? Is this a good choice for my first piece? I've always wanted a Jumbo, but I can't afford one anytime soon, and I'm not sure if it really fits with my lifestyle right now. I was thinking a mini would be great because it's so versatile. I love the walk, but it doesn't hold enough for me. Do you plan on adding a mini to your collection? Okay, so let me start with the first question. What are my thoughts on the mini flap? I like the mini flap. Unfortunately, I don't feel that it looks very good on my body frame. I feel like it's too petite for my body frame. I just think it looks funny for me, but I love them, especially the rectangular mini. Actually, even the square. I think they're beautiful bags, and I have been tempted to get one so many times. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you guys know that last year, was it last year or earlier this year, I bought the square and the mini, and I ended up against not getting either one of them because I ended up getting another wallet on chain. But I like them. I think they're so cute, and they do have a pretty good price point, especially if you're already gonna go compact with a wallet on chain. A mini is just as great. The only difference is that on the wallet on chain you don't have to carry a wallet with you because it already has the compartments in there, versus having to put a little wallet inside of the mini. But really, you can just get away with using one of these guys and you're good to go. So I think it would be a great, definitely a great addition to any collection or as your first piece, especially if you're a little indecisive about whether or not the jumbo is something that suits your lifestyle right now. And do I plan on adding a mini to my collection? As I said before, I tried to add one to my collection a few months ago or last year. I don't even remember. I would like to add one in the future, I think. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, the wallet on chain is not that much. It's just a little bit boxier versus the rectangular mini. So I think they're essentially the same thing. But I think I would like to. I really would. I like both. I think the rectangular one might look a little bit better on my frame. But I'm just always so tempted to get them because I think they're so freaking cute. But yeah, I agree with you. Very, very versatile. Great starter piece. I would definitely go for it if you could find one, definitely. Okay, Brandy Loves Beauty. What is your advice for finding a piece that Chanel should theoretically have, but your store doesn't? I want the Chanel 6 key holder, but my store said they don't have it and don't anticipate getting any shipments in general anytime soon. The sales associate texted me, that key holder is no longer available. I asked, it won't ever become available? And she said that we don't know for sure. What can I do now, if anything? I know that the Chanel 6 key holder is a little bit more scarce, but they are definitely available. I had someone on Instagram ask me that one of their sales associates told them that, you know, they don't make those 6 key holders, which they do. And what I would end up doing is I would call the 1-800 number, and even though you can't order from the 1-800 number, they can help locate the item for you if it's anywhere in the country, and then that way you can call that boutique or you can call that store and see if they can ship it to your house. But that's what I would do. You know, I know they're a little bit harder to come by. I think one of my sales associates said that in whatever shipment they have, they only get 2. So if there's a wait list, then that other person gets one. So it's a little bit harder to come by, but they definitely are available. And I would just get on a wait list if you can. I mean, get on as many wait lists as you can. That way you can help locate the item as quickly as possible. I've done that sometimes. I cheat on my sales associates all the time. You know, if I'm really looking for something, I will call the 188 or the 1-800 number. I will call all my sales associates, get on whatever list I need to get on, and then that way I have a little bit better of a chance of acquiring that item. Okay, Ivana Gamma. I have a Neverfull and monogram in the new style that I received for my birthday in March. Well, happy belated birthday. I have been saving for, oh my battery's gonna die. I have been saving for a new bag since I don't want to be wearing the Neverfull daily since it's monogram. I live in San Diego, yes, so weather is great. Yes, it is. I'm interested in either the Alma PM in Damier Ben. I love the structure and I love how elegant it looks, or the Speedy since this will be my daily bag. Okay, this is a great question. So I think both are great for daily bags, especially because you're getting it in the Damier Ben print. The structure of the Alma is fantastic. You can always get an extra shoulder strap, or whether you go for the classic Speedy or the Speedy bandolier, again, you have a little bit more versatility. Personally, I would go for the Speedy, even though I do like the Alma and I love the structure of the Alma. I just feel that the Speedy is just a little bit more I don't know if the word is user-friendly, but you can fit so many things in there. And but again, if you don't like the sag that the Speedy gets without having to use a purse organizer, then I would go for the Alma. But I think both of them would be fantastic, especially for San Diego weather, because it is always beautiful, always beautiful in San Diego. Okay, Jess the Evan, have you ever noticed that some Louis Vuitton monogram canvas prints look olive green while some look a little bit more brownish yellow? Do you know why? This is a great question, and I actually brought out a few different items so we can take a look. As you can see, the monogram canvas is a slightly different color on all 3 of them. This one's a little bit more green, this one's a little bit more caramel yellow, and this one's maybe a little bit more brown. And all that is because you have different rolls of canvas. So every canvas roll might be a little bit, might have a slightly different shade than the other ones do, but I think it's kind of fun. You know, I think at one point when I first noticed this, I put all my monogram pieces out, and so many of them were just different, you know, different shades. And I think there's the total of 5 different shades that I found throughout my collection at one point. But yeah, that's all it is different rolls of canvas that are used, and things like that. It has nothing to do with country of origin that I have found, because some of my items were from Spain, some of my items were from the US, and they still had those different tints. So yeah. Just all it is the different rolls that they use. Liberty Castro, I wanted to know if you can do a quick review on which SLG you prefer, the Chanel card holder or the Yves Saint Laurent card holder, and your thoughts on both. Here I have both items. I will be doing a comparison video between the two. I just don't know exactly when. And for those of you that have been watching watching my channel for a while, you guys know that the Chanel card holder has always been a major favorite of mine. You know, I just really like how simple it is and how easy it is to get in and out of it. But I have to say that this Saint Laurent card holder has definitely given this one a run for its money. It has quickly become one of my favorites, one of my go-to card holders, and it's right up there with the favorite with this Chanel card holder. So you know, I've only had this a little bit. I've had this one a little bit longer, but I can already tell they're both fantastic. I love the caviar leather, but there is just something about the Saint Laurent pebbled leather that just seems like it's indestructible while it still looks beautiful. So I don't know, but I will be excited to do a comparison on both, but you cannot go wrong with this one. And obviously this one is a lot more expensive than this one is, and I don't know. I like them both, you know, but it is definitely giving that Chanel card holder a run for its money. Okay, Oscar Miyake, what is your opinion on luxury brands going on sale? Do you think it devalues their image as a luxury brand, or do you think lowering prices is a good marketing strategy to appeal to a broader audience? I agree with both, actually. I think that it is a great way for people to be able to try out a brand that they've been wanting to without having to break the bank. So I think that's awesome. But at the same time, it really gives you a glimpse into how well that item will end up holding its value. Case in point, the Alexander Wang bags. I still want to add one to my collection, but you can get them on sale for, you know, 50% off what they are. And if you were to sell them later on, you wouldn't be able to get what you get for, or, you know, what you paid for them. Same thing with Gucci, with Prada. Prada is another big thing that I've always talked to you guys about. You know, you'll pay $2,000–$3,000 for a handbag, and then when you go to resell it, you'll actually be selling it at a 50%, you know, markdown from what you paid from it. So that lets me know how much an item is going to hold its value. Yes, there are some Louis Vuitton items that don't hold their resale value as well, but for the most part, Louis Vuitton does. You're not losing the, you know, everything that you invested into that piece. Same thing goes for Chanel. Another great point is that Chanel has their handbags don't go on sale for the most part. Some of them do if they're different seasons and whatnot. But for their shoes, some of their shoes are crazy expensive, you know, and then you'll find them on sale for 50% less than what they are. And then if you were to, you know, if you were to sell them, shoes just in general lose their resale value incredibly so. But yeah, it's just, I think it's great because again, you're able to really, you know, dive into a brand that you've been wanting to try out to see if their quality is great. But at the same time, you can always see how well they are going to hold their value. You know what I mean? So I think it's both. Gujaya, I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Do you routinely inspect your bags for wear and tear? I just noticed that the canvas on my Eva clutch is starting to crack. I've had my Eva since 2012 and I've never looked at it closely until now. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your Eva clutch. You know, I would still take it into the boutique, excuse me, and see if there's something they can do. I know that we always talk about how Louis Vuitton, even Louis Vuitton says once the canvas cracks, there's nothing they can do. But, you know, there's always that chance that maybe it might have been a defect that happened with your Eva clutch. You know, they always say that it's a case-by-case scenario, so I would still take it into the boutique and see if there's something that they can do. But to answer your question, do I routinely inspect my bags? I do. I do that quite often, and I think what really kickstarted me inspecting my bags a little bit closer is the little issue that I had with the Josephine wallets, because I ended up, even though I had 3 Josephine wallets at one point, I ended up using one more than the other 2, and maybe if they were in my rotation a little bit more, or maybe if I had paid a little bit more attention, I would have noticed that I had bubbling in the little removable pouches. You know what I mean? I think this is one of the old ones. Now you could really see how bad it's getting. And I have had it out of its box since it happened, and it still seems like it's getting worse. But I always try to inspect any of the, you know, especially the handles with the Vachetta handles, or the leather, the coated leather, the color treated leather for the demi ebene pieces, because you just never know. You know, I would rather be able to catch something as quickly as possible and maybe get it replaced or get it repaired before it gets any worse, or before it gets to the point where Louis Vuitton says there's absolutely nothing we can do, and now you have a damaged handbag, or you have, you know, this going on or that going on. So I would always advise to do that. Sometimes, you know, I will just take down everything I have, all the handbags, all of my SLGs, and I'll just look at everything really closely. I know my hubby has sometimes said, he's like, "You're crazy. Why are you doing that?" And I said, this is why. This is exactly the reason why, because you never know. Just because it's sitting there doesn't mean that something can't happen to it, right? Like the canvas could crack or anything like that. So I always say to do that, especially when you're investing this amount of money into these luxury goods. Or spending this amount of money into luxury goods. Caitlin Dawn, I recently made my first Louis Vuitton purchase. I got the Neverfull GM in mono and I love it. Congratulations, that's awesome. I also purchased the monogram clay, and I keep hearing how much everyone loves the key holders. I want to get a key holder, but I'm so attached to my clay that I can't imagine not having it attached to my keys. LOL. Help. Any suggestions of what I could use the clay for if I got the key holder? I am one of those people. I will talk to you about the key holder till your ears bleed. But the clay itself, this is just such an amazing, amazing piece. I have done a few different videos on this. I don't think I've done a worth it video. Maybe I should. But this thing is awesome. Personally, I prefer the key holder because it houses your keys a little bit better. You have a little bit more space in here, and you don't have to worry about any of the keys, you know, messing up any of the interiors of your bag, unless you have very slender keys and you're able to put this in here. But for the most part, everyone that I know that usually uses this as a key holder tends to have their keys on this little D-ring here. But personally, like I said before, I would go for this one. But the clay itself is, oh my goodness, this little guy just describes versatility to a T, because there's so many things that you can do with this. So let's say you get this out of the equation. Now you have your keys in here. You can use this as a wallet. You can use this as a catch-all. You can use this as a coin purse. You can use this. I mean, there's just so many little things that you can put in here, you know, and I think this is fantastic. This is definitely a staple item. I should have put this in my luxury addict tag video, but this is a staple in any collection, in my opinion, because they're so great. They're so small. They don't take up too much space, but you can really fit so much in here. You know, and I think these are fantastic. So Caitlin, I highly advise you to go for the key holder, and hopefully everything works out. You don't have any glazing issues, as we've discussed on Minks Monday before, but this is amazing. I think these two together are just wonderful. These are some of the best SLGs that Louis Vuitton has, and I think they are fantastic. So I would definitely go for it. Okay, and the last question from Alexis JP. I noticed that you're selling your Alma, vernis, and cerise. May I ask why you decided to sell this beauty? Yes, Alexis, you are correct. My Louis Vuitton Alma PM in the monogram vernis cerise is currently for sale with the gold hardware. I love this bag, don't get me wrong. The color is just jaw-droppingly beautiful. but I don't use the bag as often as I would like. And, you know, I've been really, you know, bringing down my collection as far as what I have. I don't want something to just sit there, and I don't want something to just be used, you know, once a year, twice a year, you know, only on really festive holidays like Valentine's Day for the red, you know, or for Christmas during, you know, with the red and whatnot. But I love the bag, and, you know, I have gone back and forth for the last, I'd say maybe 4 months about whether or not I should keep this in my collection. And even still, I haven't really used it as often as I thought I would have in the beginning. And it's in pristine condition because I haven't used it too often, you know, but this is a bag that definitely deserves to be used. It deserves to be shown off. And you know, unfortunately, I am not that person because I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know why, you know. I've tried it before, but I end up going for black bags. You know, I like the simplicity or the ease of just being able to use a black bag. But this is definitely a beautiful pop of color, and I think it's a beautiful bag. And trust me, even as I'm talking to you right now, I am still having reservations as to whether or not I should get rid of it. But I know that is the right thing to do because you know, I don't want to use, I've told you guys before, I don't want to have items sit on my shelf for 11 months out of the year before I decide to use them. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. I want a collection that I'll end up using all of the items, you know, very often and have them in my rotation as much as I can. But this bag, I'm so sad to say, is definitely up for sale. So if any of you guys are interested, let me know. I will have all of, you know, you guys can always email me for any questions on anything that I have for sale. But that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, and truth be told, this coming month in June, it'll be a little bit crazy for me, so I won't be able to upload 3 videos a week. I will still try to, but for the most part, it will be 2 videos a week. So I'm definitely going to try to get that 3rd one in there. But I have a lot of private sales going on, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. So I want to be able to focus in on that and be able to you know, to help people out with some of the goodies that they have their eyes on. But yeah, that does it for Minks Monday, and I hope you guys enjoyed all of the beautiful eye candy that I gave you guys today. And I will see you all tomorrow with my Celine and my Chanel unboxing. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.